The Yorkshire Terrier, or York, English Yorkshire Terrier, is a breed of decorative dogs, bred in England, in Yorkshire at the end of the 19th century, on the basis of such breeds as the Manchester Terrier, Skye Terrier, Maltese, etc. Currently, the Yorkshire Terrier is one of the most popular indoor and decorative dog breeds. History of the breed. The Yorkshire Terrier is native to Yorkshire and Lancashire in northern England. His possible ancestor is called the Waterside Terrier. This breed was popular in the 18th and 19th centuries in Yorkshire and was described as a small grey-blue dog with a semi-long coat. These dogs were kept by the peasants as they were forbidden to have large dogs so that they would not poach on lands belonging to the nobility. Small dogs guarded houses from rodents and accompanied their owners on trade trips along rivers and canals, hence the name. Some experts name Yorkies and Maltese lapdogs among the ancestors, although they differ significantly from them. The Maltese has drooping ears and a white color. It is believed that Yorkies were crossed with lapdogs to improve the quality of the coat, hair structure. This theory is supported by the fact that light Yorkies often have very good coat quality. At the end of the 18th century, with the onset of industrialization, many people in search of work moved to cities in the west of the county, and workers also came from Scotland. They brought their dogs with them, which at that time were called Scottish Terriers, English Scotch Terrier. Later among them were identified such breeds as Paisley Terrier, English, Clydesdale Terrier, Cairo Terrier, Skye Terrier. Probably, these breeds participated in the breeding of the Yorkshire Terrier. The closest to the modern Yorkie were the Paisley Terrier and the Clydesdale Terrier, which were never recognized by the Kennel Club as separate breeds, and over time their breeding was discontinued. Manchester also had its own kind of terrier, the Manchester Terrier. The breeders managed to get a variety with soft, long and silky hair. All these breeds became the ancestors of the Yorkshire Terrier. The new breed was developed by weavers working in new factories. They managed to breed a dog with a long silky steel blue coat with pure gold and brown markings. Yorkies of that time had a longer body and larger size than modern ones, their usual weight was 6-7 kilograms. A new breed called the Yorkshire Blue and Tan Silky Terrier quickly gained popularity, displacing other small English Terrier varieties. In 1886, the breed was recognized by the Kennel Club and entered in the studbook. In 1898, the first Yorkshire Terrier Club was organized. Huddersfield Ben. One of the first famous representatives of the breed was the Huddersfield Ben. He was born in Huddersfield to W. Eastwood in 1865 and was sold to Mrs. Foster of Bradford. Ben was the result of 2 generations of inbreeding. At the age of 6, Ben was killed by the carriage. During his short life, he managed to win 74 prizes at various exhibitions and competitions. Ben left numerous offspring and is still referred to as the father of the breed. The Huddersfield Ben was the finest breeding dog of its time and one of the finest dogs of all breeds and times. Most show representatives of the breed are currently descendants from one or more sides. 20th century. There is little information about the history of Yorkshire Terriers in the first half of the 20th century. Since 1946 there have been rare reports of breeders and exhibitions. An average of 250 dogs were entered in the Kennel Club studbook per year. During the war 150-200. In 1947, the first post-war exhibition was held in Great Britain. During the year 953 Yorkies were entered into the herd book. In 1949, more than 1,000, in 1960 more than 4,000. In 1940, the first Yorkshire Terrier was bred in Germany. In the USA, where Yorkies got back in 1872 and were entered into the American Kennel Club studbook in 1878, interest in them fell in the 1940s. The revival of interest in the breed is associated with a dog named Smokey, who fought in World War II. Yorkies are growing in popularity. In the AKC rankings they were 9th in 1998, 6th in 2003, and in 2006, 2007 and 2008 second only to Labrador Retrievers. Appearance. Yorkshire Terrier is one of the smallest dog breeds. According to the FCI and AKC standards, the weight of a Yorkie should not exceed 3.2 kilograms, the minimum weight or height is not limited by the standard. The general appearance is described in the standard as follows. Long-haired dog, the coat folds absolutely straight and evenly on the sides, the parting runs from the nose to the tip of the tail. Very compact and graceful, the posture is emphatically proud and important. The general impression is of a strong animal with well-proportioned body. Coat. The Yorkshire Terrier is a long-haired breed with no undercoat. This means that they practically do not shed. Their hair is similar to human hair in that it constantly grows and rarely falls out, only when combed or damaged. Due to the structure of their wool, Yorkies are less likely to cause allergies in people. At the same time, dandruff, hair fragments, saliva, dog odor can also be allergens. Standard. The standard describes the wool of a Yorkie as follows. On the body of medium length, perfectly straight, not wavy, shiny, fine silky texture, not fluffy. The hair on the head is long, flowing down a juicy golden red-brown color. The color is more intense on the sides of the head, at the base of the ears and on the muzzle, where the coat is longest. The red-brown color of the head should not extend to the neck, should not have an admixture of gray or black hair. The color is dark steel bluish, not silver blue, extending from the occipital protuberance to the base of the tail. Impurities of yellowish-brown, bronze or dark hair are not allowed. The coat on the chest is an intense bright red-brown color. All reddish-brown hairs are darker at the roots than in the middle, and even lighter towards the ends. The legs are well covered with golden reddish-brown hair. In this case, the ends of the hair are shaded lighter than the roots. The reddish-brown color should not be higher than the elbows and knees. The ears are covered with short hair of a very rich red-brown color. The tail is abundantly covered with blue hair, of a darker shade than on the body, especially at the end of the tail. Varieties. Many Yorkies do not have a coat color of the accepted standard. The yellow-brown color of the coat can range from very light to dark brown, and the coat on the main body can be black or silver gray. Experts note the relationship between coat structure and color. Dogs that are too dark rarely have the right silky coat, usually wavy and, as they say, plump. Light-colored dogs have a more regular texture, but their coats can turn yellow over time. It is believed that the most difficult task is to obtain a rich dark steel color, but it is with this color that dogs have a coat structure that best matches the standard and makes the best impression. Nowadays many breeders attach much more importance to the quality of the coat compared to the color, thus they manage to breed dogs with a uniform color and correct coat structure. There are also designer varieties of Yorkshire Terriers of non-standard colors. Pure Yorkies. Their coat structure is somewhat different from traditional Yorkies, undercoat is more developed, and the dominant color can be white, as well as chocolate brown with brown pigmentation on the nose, paws and eyelids. These varieties are not recognized by all canine organizations. Puppy coat. Yorkies are born black with a few tan spots. On the muzzle, under the tail, on the outside of the hind legs, on the inside of the front from the armpit, with a slight approach to the chest. The lower body, jaw and throat are bronze. Spots can be of different shades from golden yellow to dark golden bronze, of different sizes, wool of different colors can be mixed. Over time, the coat begins to lighten. The color change begins from the head. Black or black-brown wool is replaced by golden bronze, as a result, black color should not remain on the head, the color on the chest and legs also changes. The marks become brighter and more distinct, areas with mixed wool of different colors disappear. The steel color begins to appear on the neck, shoulders, back, lower back and sacrum. When viewed from above, the difference between lighter roots and darker tips is clearly visible. Not all puppies get the correct color as a result, even in one litter, the color change results may be different. Puppies born completely black, bronze with black spots or gray, cannot acquire the correct color. Such puppies cannot participate in breeding. They are issued documents marked breeding marriage, which, of course, does not prevent them from being pets. Bronze wool mixed with black wool is also a serious violation. When overcolored, the structure of the coat also changes. Puppies are born with smooth coats, and the structure appears only over time. In dogs with coarse coats, it often becomes thinner and silky after 1 year. The dog acquires its final color in 2-3 years, and sometimes even later. Length of wool. The average coat length prescribed by the standard means in practice that in show dogs it reaches the floor. To prevent wool of this length from getting tangled and splitting, it is wrapped on papilots, which are removed only during washing and at exhibitions. At the exhibition, the hair on the head is taken into a special top knot, English top knot, a knot on the crown. Dogs that have already completed their show career or do not participate at all in shows are usually trimmed more or less short. In this case, the hair on the head can be cut short, forming a bang, or it can be left longer, then it is collected in a tail. Head. The skull is small enough, flat, neither convex nor round. The nose is black. The muzzle is not long. Correct, even scissor bite, with the upper incisors set tightly in front of the lower ones. The teeth are vertical in the jaws are straight. The eyes are of medium size, dark, shiny, with an alert, intelligent expression, upright. Not convex. The eyelids are dark. The ears are small, V-shaped, erect, not too wide apart, covered with short hair of a very rich red-brown color. The neck is of good length. The length of the muzzle, the distance between the nose and the frontal prominence, is 1/3 of the length of the head. The ears are set quite high on the head, at the level of the forehead, and not too much on the sides, do not create the feeling of protruding. Baby face. The type of dogs with a short muzzle and large eyes is also popular. This type is called baby face, English baby face, a child's face, as it gives the face a sweet childish expression. But such a head structure, the dog does not correspond to the standard. The skull is round, the muzzle is short, the ears are set low, the eyes are large, bulging, with a surprised expression. Experts at shows prefer dogs with a classic muzzle that meets the standard, but the baby face looks very attractive from the point of view of the owners. Dogs of this type can suffer from chronic conjunctivitis due to irritation of too large eyeballs with hair, as well as narrowing of the lacrimal canal. A muzzle that is too short causes the dog to make grunting noises when playing or running, and snoring when sleeping. Body and limbs. The body is compact. The back is straight. The loin is very strong. Chest with moderately prominent ribs. Forelegs straight, well covered with golden reddish-brown hair. In this case, the ends of the hair are shaded lighter than the roots. The reddish-brown should not be above the elbows. The shoulders are well spaced. The hindquarters are perfectly straight when viewed from behind. The angles of the knee joints are moderately pronounced. Well covered with a rich golden reddish-brown coat, while the ends of the hair are somewhat lighter than the roots. The reddish-brown should not be above the knees. Paws are round, claws are black. Tail. According to the old standards, the tail had to be docked. The 1998 ICF standard stated, usually docked up to half the length. In 2003, a description of an uncropped tail appeared in the standard, and in the current standard of 5/19/2009, one of the types is no longer given preference. Previously usually docked. Docked. Medium length, abundantly covered with blue hair of a darker shade than on the body, especially at the end of the tail. Keep slightly above the back line. Undocked. Profusely covered with blue hair of a darker shade than on the body, especially at the end of the tail. Keep slightly above the back line. As direct as possible. Length creates a balanced look. The size. FCI and AKC standards determine the maximum weight of a Yorkie 3.1 kg, minimum weight 2.3 kg. The growth of a Yorkie is not limited by the standard. The standards also do not provide for dividing Yorkies into varieties by size, unlike, for example, Dachshunds or Poodles. At the same time, in Russia unofficial names among non-professionals are common, meaning the size of the dog, the so-called mini and micro, which means all over the world that these dogs are a marriage. Dogs that are too small, especially females, are not suitable for breeding, are very painful and have a short lifespan. The breeding of such miniature dogs is due to the demand from the owners who want to get an unusual pet. For this purpose, standard-sized females are often knitted with small males. There are also known cases when puppies are deliberately underfed in order to slow down their growth. The result can be dogs with impaired health and psyche. At the same time, tiny dogs can appear in litters of standard-sized parents. The smallest Yorkie ever recorded is Sylvia from Blackburn, England. She died in 1945 at the age of 2 years. Her height at the withers was 6.3 centimeters, length from the tip of the nose to the base of the tail was 9.5 centimeters, and weight 113 grams. In the Guinness Book of Records from 1995 to 2002, the Yorkshire Terrier Big Boss, which belonged to Kai Hanchanak from Thailand, was registered as the smallest dog. At the age of 1, he was 11.9 centimeters tall and weighed 481 grams. Character. Despite their diminutive size, Yorkshire Terriers retain the qualities inherent in large terriers: courage, curiosity, and tirelessness. He is friendly with people and with other dogs and loyal to the owner. Yorkshire Terriers need attention more than any other breed. Yorkshire Terriers are ready to spend the whole day next to the owner in their arms or following on his heels. They are happy to run, jump, play ball, hunt birds, mice or sun bunnies, while not forgetting to monitor the reaction of the owner. Yorkshire Terriers persistently get their way, be it the attention of the owner or a portion of food. York feels well the mood of the owner and adjusts to him. The hunting excitement of the Yorkshire Terrier sometimes poses a danger to him. In suburban villages, Yorkies catch and eat beetles, as well as injured mice if a bird of prey drops them. Both, of course, are not deadly poisonous, but they can provoke an upset stomach. Walking under the nesting of owls, kestrels, etc., where 1 or 2 stale mice are constantly lying around, is highly not recommended maintenance and care. Due to its small size, the Yorkie is easy to keep in the city, even in a small apartment. A Yorkie can be accustomed to a cat tray or a special diaper as a toilet, which removes the problem of compulsory walks. At the same time, walks are a great pleasure for the Yorkie, like any physical activity. In winter, they wear him so that the snow does not get into the wool and the dog does not freeze. The Yorkie is easy to take with you on any trip in a carrying bag. But it must be borne in mind that a dog of this size is quite fragile and it can be injured, for example, by stepping. Puppies must be handled especially carefully. A Yorkie puppy is not suitable for families with small children, as the child may drop it or squeeze too hard. The greatest difficulty is grooming the coat if it remains long. Usually long hair is grown in dogs that participate in exhibitions. A dog with long hair should be washed regularly with shampoo and conditioner and lubricated with oil. To prevent the wool from tangling, it is wound on papillates. To prevent the papillates from straying, they put on a jumpsuit over them. Socks are put on the hind legs so that the dog cannot comb out the papillates. If the dog does not participate in shows, it is usually cut rather short. There are various models of haircuts that can be done at home or by consulting a specialist. For hygiene reasons, the hair is completely cut on the lower surface of the tail, under it, in the lower abdomen. In other places the coat may be left longer or shorter. The haircut should be repeated every 2-3 months. A Yorkie's eyes should be wiped every day with a cotton swab moistened with water to remove eye secretions, which, when mixed with dust, can cause conjunctivitis. In this case, you also need to comb the hair on the face so that it does not get into the eyes. You also need to clean your ears. Hairs inside the ear canal are often removed to facilitate cleaning. The hair on the upper third of the ear is trimmed short with scissors or a razor. The teeth must be brushed to remove plaque and calculus. You can brush your teeth with a special brush. Give the dog chewing bones. In case of the formation of noticeable dental deposits, it is recommended to take the dog to the veterinarian. Tartar leads to periodontal disease, which, in turn, can lead to early loss of teeth. Teeth can fall out as early as 2 years. If the dog's claws do not grind themselves off during walks, if the dog walks a little or does not walk at all, they must be trimmed. Health. Yorkies are in good health. Their average lifespan is 12-15 years. Some individuals reach the age of more than 20 years. Some diseases are more common in Yorkies than in other breeds, especially due to their smallness. Not growing fontanelle. The fontanelle can remain open for life, which increases the risk of damage to the skull. Cryptorchidism. One or both testicles do not descend into the scrotum. Dislocation of the patella, sprain or eversion of the joints may be accompanied by rupture of the ligaments. Perthes disease. Destruction of the bone of the head and neck of the femur without inflammation. It appears between 3 and 5 months of age and causes lameness. Tracheal collapse, English, sharp breathing movements with excitement or a sharp pull on the leash can lead to an instant narrowing of the trachea since the cartilaginous half rings in small breeds are poorly developed. Disorder of changing teeth. Milk teeth, especially canines, can remain when changing teeth while permanent ones grow nearby. Extraction of milk teeth is carried out under anesthesia in a veterinary clinic. Distichiasis. The appearance of an additional row of eyelashes behind normally growing. Yorkshire Terrier. Price and how to buy. If you want to buy a high-quality puppy of this breed, you should give preference only to specialized kennels with a good reputation. Buying a doggy from an experienced breeder will help you avoid many of the problems with raising your baby. Do not be tempted by low prices and believe the beliefs of the seller. You can buy a puppy from 2-3 months of age. Yorkies must be vaccinated, have a veterinary passport, pedigree documents. Choose an active mobile puppy with clean, shiny coat. The presence of dandruff and flaking indicates possible health problems. Pay attention to the back. The hump will remain in an adult dog. Feet should be straight and tight. If the dog is limping, do not believe the seller's beliefs that he will improve in the future. Lameness indicates a defect in the joints. Examine the whole baby. The nose should be moist, cool, and no discharge. The gums should be pink, and paleness may be a sign of anemia. The puppy should close the fontanelle by this age if you are applying for a show dog. An important fact. If there are smudges under the eyes, the individual may have conjunctivitis or volvulus. Purulent discharge indicates infectious diseases, often fatal. Ears must be clean. If your puppy is scratching and shaking his head all the time, he may be infected with an ear mite. The price depends on the origin of the parents, the availability of titles and awards, the nature of the puppy itself, and appearance. Show-class dogs are more expensive than others, as they have a great chance of becoming champions at shows. The breeder class has shortcomings that are acceptable in the breed. Pet class. Pets that are not involved in breeding. You can buy a York without documents for $200. However, such individuals may not be purebred and grow to large sizes. You can buy a dog in the kennel for $400. The kids have all the documents, they are vaccinated. Exhibition animals are estimated at up to $1,000.